be heard on your platform. My name is Shipsi Pakalehio. I was born in Wellington Hospital. Both my parents are Tokelaan, which makes me a New Zealand citizen. 5 years ago, my family and I moved over here in Nukunono, Tokelau, when my parents were born. I was 14 years old when my parents and brother were house arrested on August the 3rd, 2021 for not consenting to the Pfizer injection. I, on the other hand, was house arrested 4 months later on December 22nd. Rosa Dern is the administrator of Tokelau. Now it's Don Higgins. Both of them have done absolutely nothing to stop our situation. There was also no COVID on island. Our situation has been changed from being called house arrest to house isolation, as if it makes any difference. Why would we need to be isolated when there's nothing to isolate from? Being restricted from going anywhere as a 15-year-old is just unbelievable. Never in my entire life have I ever thought that my family and I would be in this sort of situation. We're currently awaiting a review. They said it would take place in June. It's the 1st of July. So I don't know what's happening. But we have been unofficially informed that we would still be on house arrest for another 6 months until we comply. Thank you for your time and interest.
Mai whātalofa atu I le paia ma le mamalu ua mawhai o na whaafonga mai le nei awhiawhi. Ia, o le tātou pokalame māsani lava le nei I pō aso lua o le Talanoa Sa'o po le Straight Talk. Whātalofa atu ono le tātou vai aso whaapitoa le nei mo le ngana whaasamoa. Ia ma le manatu au tū le nei vai aso mita mita I lau ngana ma waa I lau whaasinamanga. Welcome everyone, warm Pacific greetings to every person and talofa lava. This is Samoan Language Week. My name is Pali Fuyava Ililia Lailima, and I wanted to bring up the fact that the theme for this week is be proud of your language and be grounded in your identity. And before we start, I just wanted to mention that as we bring on our co-hosts. This is my co-host tonight, Elliot Ikilei. Elliot, are you there?
Hey, talofa lava. Happy Samoan Language Week. Very good to be here.
Talofa. And we have one more guest, of course, our sister, who is always with the two boys. Of course, last week it was just the two of us, but this week we'll be together with her, and she's brought a special guest with her. But ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Leal Tilsley.
Wow, what a greeting. And I'm not a guest, okay? I'm a co-host.
Yay.
Hey.
And by the way, just on behalf of all of us here, we just want to also wish a very, very happy birthday to Liao. It's her birthday. So happy birthday. And yes, it's our shout when she gets back to Auckland.
That's
yes,
right.
I'm going to find the most expensive restaurant.
Oh.
Yeah, we're going to go there, okay?
KFC is offering a deal.
Yes,
no
KFC.
farmers, no KFC.
Oh, no KFC. Oi.
Thank you. See,
all right,
so badly saying it.
Oh, see, look. So, Liao, first off, you're not in Auckland. So where are you at? What's going on?
Okay, so I'm currently in Dunavake. Okay, that's how you
Ah,
say it. Daddy
is it?
Rick to most of the other, other people that can't pronounce it. But apparently, this is where the Vikings were, so you have to say it like that. Okay, next time you hear it,
Oh, right.
Stanavake. And anyway,
Anavake.
I'm down here with Mahaleno and Anna. And
Ah,
you saw Gypsy right at the beginning, and
Yes.
Tracy's down here, and just some incredible people. We are on
Mm.
our wedding anniversary road trip. So
Hey.
we've been married
oh,
24.
nice.
Yeah, 24 years we've been married. Poor guy. Nice to be
Ah.
married to an islander.
Yeah.
Eh? we can interview him sometime. No, we're not going to. Anyway,
That is actually a great idea. Great idea. And by the way, just if you don't know, Liao is actually married to an ex-marine,
Yes.
yes, he
a
is. He had to be one to be
USMC.
married
An
to me.
American life.
America.
Hey, America.
I was born in America. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So we're just doing a road trip. We've got another week to go. We're just traveling through the lower North Island, and so we'll probably eventually make our way back home at some stage because we've got some announcements to do next week.
Oh,
Maybe
nice. Yes.
we'll see.
Yeah, and in actual fact, I believe that Talanoa Sa'o, we've got a bit of an exclusive coming up. We're going to be interviewing a couple of new members of a party. As you know, we interviewed Hika Robertson
Hika
of the
Robertson.
Vision
That's right.
Party last week. And so next week, we're also going to carry that on. We're going to interview more people. I believe we're going to be interviewing people from Democracy NZ. All right, so there's going to be some candidates coming up, and then often we are, and I know that many of you guys out there have been asking us to interview other people of other parties, so we will. We're putting in feelers out. We will be able to interview people from the Freedoms and Z party, as well as the Outdoors, New Conservative, whoever you want us to interview, we'll interview. If you really want, we'll even go for the big ones as well. So, okay. We'll just put the hard word to some of them. That's all. But look, you let us know who you want us to interview, and we'll make sure that it happens for you. All right. But we've got it, and so we've got our next set of interviews coming up next Tuesday for Talanoa Sa'o. All right. So I think it'll be quite wonderful.
That's right.
So I have someone very special with me, and I'd like to introduce her if that's okay.
Oh, sounds good. Sounds good.
So
I wonder who it could
hang on a
be.
minute. Let me just take this.
Oh, she's unplugging from the Matrix. She's unplugging from the Matrix.
I am.
And, oh, gee!
Hey.
Hey, celebrity.
Mm.
Hey, I believe now that's Gypsy, is it? Is this Gypsy that we are looking at? Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
Alrighty.
good thing we started with her TikTok.
Hey, I know. Talofa Gypsy, Wamai, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Oh, good.
Oh.
Good. Oh, excellent. Now, Gypsy, look, I have to be careful here because I have a tendency to go straight in for some questions. And just for our audience, hey, look, if you want to ask Gypsy anything, she is the star of that show where she was putting out what was going on in Tokelau. And, such a powerful time, I think, a time of suffering, but I think of resilience as well. Gypsy, in that video, there were things were going really badly. I know that we heard reports that actually people were told not to give you food. We had the documents that stated very clearly that it wasn't just a normal Kiwi type of lockdown, but it was a true lockdown. Were you ostracized? Were you sort of separated from the community? How tough really was it? How tough was it?
So you couldn't. I couldn't just walk outside my door. Outside the boundaries of my home. I could only just walk outside, like be around my backyard and stuff.
Wait, are you saying that you were only allowed to the boundary of your property? You were not allowed to step outside of that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, basically.
That is disgraceful. Sorry, carry on. So, what about food, hospital, church, meeting people, having support structures, friendships? What was going on in that area?
We could go to the hospital whenever we needed to. For shopping, we would have to call the shop manager to arrange our shopping. And someone would drop our shopping off. We couldn't go out into the village. Even to church, we couldn't go. People couldn't come to our house. But I remember when I first was on house arrest, I think.
Right. Okay. No, that we can hear you quite nicely now. Awesome.
Okay.
So yeah, you couldn't. It sounds like you were. I cannot believe that they prevented you from worshiping God. I think that is absolutely shocking. So to me, anyway, that seems like the Taupolenga or your government seem to be saying that no, you don't get to worship God unless you take an injection from Pfizer. Is that right? Am I saying that incorrectly, or is that sort of what happened?
Sort of what happened, yeah.
Oh, shocking. Listen, that video you did was absolutely powerful. Can I just ask, how old were you when you did that video?
15.
15, hey? Powerful, all right? Absolutely wonderful. Okay, you're sitting there with Liao, so I assume Liao has not tried to sneak into a plane and shoot off from New Zealand, which suggests that you're actually over here. Now, without crossing any, I don't know, we don't want to cross anything that might be a problem. Can you tell us what's happened since the Tokelau shutdown opened up? And are you in New Zealand? Sort of what's going on for you right now?
So me and my family, we're in New Zealand right now. When we were released out of house arrest, we were deciding whether just me, my mom, and my brother were gonna come here. My dad was thinking of staying in Tokelau by himself. But me and my mom especially pressured him to come, and so as soon as my passport was renewed, because it was expired, we jumped on the first available boat that we could go on, and went to Samoa. Stayed there for 2 weeks. It's a nice little vacation, and we came here.
Oh wow, awesome! And so the boat came straight from Tokelau over to New Zealand, is it?
Oh no, over to Samoa.
Over to Samoa, then you jumped on a plane. Look, I just want to know, I mean, because I haven't been able to talk to anyone who was like there during lockdowns. You're the first person I'll be able to sort of speak to about this. I have to say I'm really shocked that they kept you from worshipping God, that if you were going to go shopping, then you had to go talk to the manager to try to sort that out. What about friendships, family? If they wanted to bring you food, was that okay? At least if other family wanted to bring you food or anything like that?
Yeah, that was okay. People bringing food, but like just to like visit wasn't allowed.
Right, and of course this was when there was 0 COVID cases on the island, like 0. There's nothing.
Yeah.
I can. Can you tell us just a little bit about how and I don't want to put you into it too heavily, how was your heart? How was your thoughts in that zone, because you were how long were you in lockdown? And I'm just curious about how your heart was, how your thoughts were going in there.
I was in lockdown for about a year. Yeah, same as my
Jeez,
family.
unbelievable.
So when my parents and brother were on lockdown, um, my mum especially didn't want me to go to school anymore, and so I was basically on lockdown too. Um, and it broke my heart basically, because I still wanted to go to school.
Mm.
And the fact that I couldn't, and the fact that I couldn't see my best friend every day anymore just made me really, really depressed. Like I cried every single day. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
cried.
No, I absolutely. My heart goes out to you and to the children, the teenagers who are there. You guys, look, the fact that you're here and still speaking out, I think, is just absolutely really strong, really powerful sort of stuff. So, well done you for doing that sort of thing. I want to bring up just to our people out there that if you have a look at your screen now, this is actually one of the letters that we found. We've de-identified it. We're not saying who this went to, but this went to a family in Tokelau. Right, we were able to access this. Right, it says, we have confirmation from St. Joseph Hospital that you and your 2 children did not comply with the Taupulenga decision to receive the COVID-19 vaccination. As such, please note the followings. 1, you will remain on house arrest with your wife and your son for a further 6 months until you reconsider your decision. 2, your daughter will also be on house arrest starting tonight at 10 p.m. 3, please note also that Dr. Alani and his team agreed to give you until this coming Sunday, 26 December, to be vaccinated. It is sad that you still do not comply with our mandatory vaccination decision, and given that you still have until Sunday, I kindly ask that you reconsider your decision and make things easier for your family and the Taupulenga. And just for myself, I find that quite disgusting. That has, they wouldn't dare do that in New Zealand. No matter how woke New Zealand has gotten, they wouldn't dare do that. But they did this in Tokelau, even though Tokelau people are under New Zealand administration. They have the citizenship to come to New Zealand. They're not a foreign nation. They come under New Zealand. And it's utterly shocking. Sorry, I'm taking up time. Fuiawa, did you have anything to maybe ask or comment on that situation?
Thank you, Elliot, for asking. Actually, to be quite honest, there is a connection between the Samoan Language Week, Samoan Independence, and this story that we're giving out right now. And that connection is right about the time when we started to really get involved with what was going on. And for those of you who've been following us for many years, you guys will know that we were probably one of the first groups to actually bring attention to this. And I wanted to mention the fact that I wrote in one of my editorials that I did about the COVID-19 and the Tokelau situation, about how everyone is getting ready to prepare for Samoan Flag Day or Samoan Independence Day in Samoa. And for me, I couldn't feel in my heart that same kind of celebration, because we have our neighbors in Tokelau who are actually going through this situation. And I just wanted to say that, that's kind of like the way things are today, how there are people who have been vaccinated and have been injured through the vaccinations, people who have died, different circumstances. These guys who were house arrested in Tokelau because of the policies of our government, and yet people will just continue to go on and celebrate the same old, and kind of like forget about people like this. And it's really important for us to shine the light on these kind of experiences, people experiences, because people need other people to stand up on their behalf. And so I just wanted to ask this one question to Gypsy, if you don't mind, Gypsy, answering this question that I have. The question that I have is, I know that you're very young. You did this when you did the video, the TikTok video when you were 15. It went viral. Now, the thing I wanted to ask you is, has this experience that you've been through with your family, has it given you a greater appreciation as to why people need to participate in political situations and political involvement and in community issues?
Yes, it has. Need to
Can
be.
you elaborate on that? Yeah. Can you tell us more about what you feel about that?
I feel you really need to be open-minded about what the government is doing and stuff. You know, they mandate something that they say is good for you.
Yeah.
And you can't just blindly take that information and say, okay, you know, they're telling the truth.
Right.
We should trust them. And so we should take it, you know?
Yeah.
You can't do that. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Well said. Well said.
Well said.
And I think that's absolutely right. You know, and we've learned in some really bad ways just how dangerous this government has gotten. When you look at the Taupolinga, of course, you had, I believe it was Ross Ardern, Jacinda's father, who was the administrator. I think there was some extraordinary discussions, obviously, that had gone on. We found that suddenly Ross Ardern had resigned. That was apparently always in the mix. However, it seemed to have been quickened after the Daily Exam of Talanoa Sa'o, Fuiawa yourself started to engage in some communication with them. Because, of course, when we sent those messages went out, what we found is the Taupolinga suddenly got together, started to cuss us out a little bit there. But then they ended up making it a little bit softer, and then we saw what we saw going on. You know, they resigned pretty quick, fast, in a hurry. I think that's absolutely fine. I just want also to show that this was another letter from the Taupolinga to another family in Tokelau. Number one, you are currently on house arrest until the next vaccination rollout. Number two, the next vaccination rollout is planned for later this year or early next year. If by then you and your family decide to get vaccinated, then your house arrest ends. 3, however, if you decide not to get vaccinated, then your house arrest continues for another 6 months. 4, the duration of your house arrest after the next vaccination rollout depends on the COVID-19 situation then, and this will be reviewed accordingly, which of course is absolutely unacceptable because there was no COVID in Tokelau. So what was anyone vaccinating for anyway? Well, there's nothing in there, you know, and I think there is a shocking level of duplicity from both the Taupolinga and the administrators. Don't forget, Tokelau citizens are actually New Zealand citizens. They are New Zealand citizens. They have a right to be protected by the Constitution of New Zealand. But when we checked it out, when we called up the general manager of Tokelau, and we've actually put that on report, that you can find that in our website, you'll find that he said that no, the Constitution does not extend, the New Zealand Constitution, the Bill of Rights, does not extend out to Tokelau citizens when they are offshore from New Zealand. And I felt that it was shocking. That was absolutely shocking, you know. But look, we've got all of those details on there. We've made sure that we checked our information on here. So you're back now. I think that's wonderful. What are you doing now? Now, please, I hope it's all right for me to ask. You're 15 then. How old are you now, Gypsy? And what are you doing? Are you at school, doing business, chilling out, having a year off? What's going on in your life right now?
So I'm 16 now. Turned 16 on October. Just when we got released, I think. Oh no, that was September. Yeah, so I'm 16 now, and I don't go to school here. I do a course online.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And I'm also volunteering at an op shop, and I also volunteer at the local cinema.
Oh, nice. What are you doing there?
Projection and customer service.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So wait, you're doing online school, you're volunteering at an op shop, and you're volunteering at a movie place, just doing some work.
Yes. Yeah, and I'm learning my learners, my road code.
Oh, you're doing your learners. Oh, shucks. Jeez, eh? Far out.
Quite a resume.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Oh, no, that's awesome. Awesome. Now, who have you come? So you've come over with mum and dad, is it?
Yeah, and my brother.
And your brother. Okay, great, great. What's your brother doing? And, again, I don't want to push too much. Are we allowed to know how old he is, or what's he doing?
Yeah, so he turned 28 here. And he helps out with puzzles. So we live at a place that makes puzzles for kids.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the website is called Kiwi Made Toys.
Kiwi Made Toys.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's made in New Zealand, huh? Made in New Zealand.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, no, look, awesome, awesome. That schooling you're doing online, I think that's actually really wonderful. And there is a reason why I'm asking this question. Is there... I mean, I think we're getting it, our schools are becoming a little bit dangerous. Is there a reason why you haven't started, or you're choosing not to go to school, or your parents have chosen not to put you into a school? I'll be honest, I've got a few reasons why I wouldn't put you in school or put someone else in school. But Is there a reason why you haven't gone to school at all?
Yeah, it's because my parents don't want me going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, very good, very good. Look, the fact is that New Zealand schools have become a lot more dangerous, and as you know, for our people, our audience, you guys will know as well that homeschooling has skyrocketed. I'm trying to think of the numbers, but I think it's in plus 40% have now gone into homeschooling. In fact, I believe it's in 2 days it starts. So from the 12th to the 16th of June, that's Pride Week in schools. And that's when they're basically going to have an official time of targeting your children while you are at work and while you are not around to protect your children. That's going to be involved in there. I just wanted to bring this up there as well. Oh, hello. Is this it? Is this the one that we're looking at, Gypsy?
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Look at that. Hey, this is capitalism. I love this. This is the way it works, working hard, small businesses, engaging online. It's absolutely wonderful. All right. Just great stuff. And look, Bradley has also put out there as well. Oh, well done. Thank you, Bradley. Good on you. Hey. Oh, look, Bradley's all over it. Hey, give him the plug. There's the plug. All right, so look, if you can, jump in there, have a look through their website. These are good Kiwis who we want to be able to help out, and to be part of in terms of good, healthy economy. I also say, Nathan's there as well. Nathan, just to let you know, I'm drinking. I don't know. I don't know. It's a bag of something. Basically, I just had a heaps of fatty food, so my tummy's feeling a bit so I decided to jump into a bit of a hot cup of tea. All right, good. Listen, I want to be really careful. I know that you're 16, but I would love to get your take on a couple of things, Gypsy. How do you feel about answering just a couple of questions on some of the things that we do ask about here How do you feel about that? I see Auntie Liao's there in the corner, keeping a stern eye on me. I don't know why, but okay, whatever. So, Gypsy, how many genders are there?
Two.
Now we've two. What the? Are you being a bit bigoted there, Gypsy? Hey, so in terms of New Zealand and some of the other areas, of course, they're talking about there are not just 72 genders. Actually, at first there were 5 genders, then there were 53, then there were 72. Now it's just expanding more and more. You've got pan, demisexual, queer, furry, blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. What are your thoughts about that? Do you think it should just stay male, female, or do you think it is okay to have any gender under the sun?
I think it's a bit wild, like,
Wow.
72.
Just a bit.
It's a bit odd, don't you think?
It's a bit odd. Yeah, she's a little odd. Yeah. Now, I am also curious. There's now. Oh, you're in. Okay, right. Liao is in Dannevirke. We're not sure where anyone else is. There is a massive youth crime wave going on, and it's getting worse, not better. We're hearing more and more reports. Gypsy, do you have any thoughts around the youth crime? A lot of them are actually much younger than you. Many of them are 11, 12, 13, and it does go up to that 17 before they switch over into the straight-up gang area. Do you have any thoughts about youth crime? Why do you think there's more and more youth in New Zealand are just starting to go hard violence, hard drug crime, hard gang crime? Do you have any thoughts as to why that is and maybe how we can sort of fix it a little bit?
I think it's probably because of quarantine, maybe. Of all the. This is just my thinking. Since there's been like a lot of suicides, because of quarantine, I think some of their like cousins and friends feel like angry that their best friends or cousins have passed away, and they just feel that anger into being
enraged, just enraged by life.
Yeah.
I think that I just want to bring this up here as well because this is something that's
Good answer,
this came out. Well, there's I just want to put this out there that now this was put out in 2nd of February 2022. So we popped up this article. This is over a year ago that we put up this article, and this was just after the massive lockdowns had happened. All right, and what we found was 30% spike in ambulance callouts for mental health / suicide attempts, with under 14-year-old callouts jumping nearly 80% since 2019. So you had a 30% spike in ambulance callouts for mental health suicide attempts, under 14-year-old callouts jumping nearly 80%. That number's nearly fictional, but they had the numbers in there. You're talking about some of the most horrific suicidality in our young people since records began, and that was just during the lockdowns. All right, we just got one a few weeks ago. St. John's, we've had more increases in terms of respiratory and heart issues, and I believe stroke issues or stroke call-outs. And so, the things are getting really brutal out there. So I think that there's definitely a part of the problems that we're seeing in our young people is, when you've got some horrific numbers coming up, and the under 14-year-old number is absolutely shocking. Gypsy, I think that's a real powerful one to sort of bring up. Liao, I see you there in the corner there as well. Do you have anything to sort of mention around Gypsy's story about what's happened? And even, you're there with the whanau, you're there with the ainga, the family now. What are your thoughts about the situation? Tokelau, Gypsy's family. What's your take on that situation?
So I only got half of your question because I can't actually hear what you're saying.
No worries. What are your thoughts around what Gypsy's been through and what happened in Tokelau and where she is now? What are your thoughts there? What's your take?
I really feel like the Lord actually allowed them to go through the fire because they are a very strong family. And now that Tokelau is on lockdown from one case. So everybody there has been vaccinated. And they have one case, and so everyone's locked down. During that time that they were all there, it would have been amazing for people to go, oh my gosh, actually, we're just going to support them on their decision rather than mocking them and just making it hell for them, there in Tokelau. And I just see a family that has so much strength in them, they have been through the fire. Like we were locked down for 4 months. They were locked down for a whole year. I can't even comprehend that, and they weren't allowed to do the most, simplest of things. Imagine your whole life going to a church and feeling God's unconditional love. And then the minute a government comes along and stamps it and says, sorry, you can't go to church now. I mean, that happened here, but yeah, imagine that feeling like God's unconditional love just became conditional because of your choice. Really mad about this whole situation right now because who's going to stand up for them there? How long are they going to be in lockdown? Even because all of them have been vaccinated. So at what point, what's the point of being locked down if everyone's vaccinated? Unless you're getting more jabs, unless you're getting the booster as well. So I just see a family that have been through the fire and their story's only just begun. That's how I see them. Beautiful family. They have a lot to share. They've got a story to tell. And I think they're going to continue standing up for what they believe in here in New Zealand.
And I believe that Mahalino himself was one of the Taupolinga. Is that correct?
Is he part of the Doppelganger? Your dad?
At one point?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
He was, wasn't he? Yeah, and I think so. He's got a deep insight as to how that sort of goes through. Yeah, I think
and
it's a really
how
fascinating.
Deeply, I feel just how deeply they were betrayed. Like he was part of it, so he, at least one of them could have just stood with him. But he was shamed. He was treated so badly, and I can't even comprehend that. You have friends that block you and not talk to you ever again, but to be removed from the meeting because of something that the New Zealand government has enforced on your island, like that's insane. We're not just talking about friends in a council building. We're talking about family. So this is the kind of heartache that this family has been through.
Yeah.
And to be able to stand that and still be so loving. They're loving, they're receptive, they're receptive of anybody that comes here. Their love is just, has grown and overflowing to whoever needs support. They've brought it here to New Zealand, and we're very blessed to have them here.
Yeah,
and
said.
That's a point that I remember bringing up when we had our conversations about this in the beginning. I mentioned the fact that Tokelauans are just like Samoans. We're a tight knit group. We live in the village. We have our culture and all of the family surrounding us. I mean, everything is about family. And the thing that this government has done with their policies has created tension among the people in this tight knit group of people, a community, and has torn them apart. They've torn families, literally torn families apart. As you can see, these guys are over here now, even though I'm sure they would prefer to live in the islands, just like all of us. We all want to we live here, but we talk about going back to Samoa and seeing our family there and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, the point I'm trying to make is that this very close knit culture was torn apart because of the policies, the very very bad policy that this government had. You know, I mean, I want to call it other words, but because we got Gypsy here, I'm not going to say anything. But you know what I'm talking about. And this is stuff that we said this was going to happen, and it happened. It happened. So
Yep. No, that's absolutely right. I do also want to bring up something that has just recently been shared. And look, it's been shared by a very interesting person, Mr. Peters. All right, so Mr. Peters has come out and he's shown us that, in actual fact, we have a bit of an issue here. The World Health Organization is effectively trying to take independent decision-making away from sovereign countries. They are now putting in health regulations that do sound like what was it, section... I can't remember what it was, a Section 20 or something that powers, where when the Ardern government expanded our government powers to be able to direct people to do as they will in terms of medical areas. Now, the WHO is now seeking to give powers to the Director General, really power, and it's very interesting because it's very similar to the same powers as the Ardern government gave to herself. You know, when any sort of thing that comes in the future, what they're basically doing is that they're stating that they're going to have powers to move people around. And for those who are members of the WHO, of the United Nations, that's what's going on right now. And it's extraordinary. You know, this is sort of a deal breaker. That they're just trying to give massive amounts of power. Here we go. The WHO proposes a one-size-fits-all public health system worldwide. A public health system worldwide. WHO designed regulations that will bind every country. The removal of fundamental freedoms, the ignoring of view of independent nations. So basically, one world system of health. An extraordinary level where basically, and don't forget, these are the people who are ready for extreme abortion, not just normal abortion, but actual extreme abortion, partial birth abortion, where the baby comes partway out, they kill the baby right there on the spot. Also pushing the idea of gender ideology and gender dysphoria upon your children, and that the decisions will be made over in Brussels or Europe or somewhere like that. Also, doesn't have to be a health risk, but any potential risk. That is the wording they use. They're using the wording potential risk, not verified, not substantiated, potential risk. And that, of course, is yet again incredibly dangerous. You know, this is news that should be blowing up the spot, but it's not. The mainstream media have barely covered it. They put it in one small little release that I've seen anyway. I don't know if it's in other ways, but it is a shocking amount of power being given to the Director General. And anyone who is a member to this must accede. And, you know, when you think about things like the UN Migration Compact, which was pushed onto the member states, this one is far more dangerous, far more insidious and invasive. So, you know, this is not coming up into mainstream media. I don't understand what this is. Team, what do you guys think? What do you think about the fact that the WHO is now trying to give extreme amounts of power to a non-New Zealand entity to give control over New Zealand families, children, the whole 9 yards? What are your thoughts? Fuiawe, what do you think?
Well, this is the way these people operate, isn't it? And this is the reason why we need to stand up. This is the reason why we need to push back. And we don't just need to push back a little bit. We need to push back a whole lot. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, you know, that saying, give them an inch and they'll take a mile. That's exactly the way these people are. They take a little bit of power, and then they just completely blow it up to the point where they are in total control of you. You know, so you can't say yes to anything they say. You know, if they ask you anything at all, say no. Just say no. I mean, Nancy Reagan used to have that famous saying, just say no. And that's what we need to do. Anything that these people do, just say no. No, thank you. We don't need your help.
Yep.
We don't want your help, and we don't need your help.
Well said. Well said. Liao, Gypsy, what do you guys think?
So we have an election year, and if we don't go to the polls with our votes, and here's an important thing for the election: we need to have scrutineers who are going to be there to see the votes through and count them. That's probably going to be more important than having the volunteers, leading up to it. What we need to do is we need to use our vote to vote this government out. They are communist through and through. If you don't know that by now, we deserve everything that we're going to get after this election.
That's right.
So everything that they're pushing, none of this is surprising because control is all they want. And control they will get if we don't do something about it. And we have to, because our children will never know what freedom is. They will never know what freedom is if we don't stand up for it. And if it costs our lives, so be it.
Well said. Well said. May I ask then, why don't we just all vote National?
Because National, they are spineless, okay? They have opposed nothing. We have had all of this come through all year. Where have they been? Where is their voice? There is nothing coming out of them but hot air. So unless something changes between now and then, I think National's Labour light. That's all I'm going to say.
Fair enough, fair enough. Gypsy, what are your thoughts? Do you think that we should be okay with the United Nations and area over in, which has got based over in New York or in Europe? Is it okay? Do you think we should have them take charge of all of our healthcare needs? Is that, what are your thoughts? And I know you're a young person, and I know I'm throwing this question straight at you, straight off the bat. But what are your thoughts? Should we just have the United Nations based World Health Organization tell us how to look after our people?
No.
hey, just like that. No.
Get to the point.
No.
Just say no.
Oh, well said. Well said. Do you have a reason for that, though? Do you have a reason?
Because they don't know us. They don't know our personal needs. They think they know what's good for us, but we all know they're like evil. Yeah, I think it's best if we decide what we do and put in our body and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well said. Hey, because they don't know us. They really don't. Hey, yeah, it's low. They absolutely they do not know us. They don't know who we are. They don't know what our values are. And by the way, this is actually, again, this is something which I've mentioned from time to time. This is the problem with the United Nations. The Western civilization that we know is under direct threat. And this year and next year will determine the fate of our existential future, because in the West, of course, you've got that, again, the pillars: Greek democracy, Judeo-Christian principles, ethics, and morals, all of our systems built on top of that. So even if you are an atheist, even if you are a secularist, even if you are socialist or anarchist, under a Christian-based system, you can have those beliefs, no problem. But when you have a system that is secular, which is communist or socialist, then you must believe whatever the government at the time believes. And if not, then you can end up being jailed or historically killed for not being able to have those thoughts. The other part of the issue that you have with the United Nations is that when it was set up, it was never set up with an objective morality. So one of the things that is great for a Western-style civilization, which has historically been the greatest in the history of mankind, is because it's tethered to scripture. It's tethered to the Bible. We don't go out of that area. We might want to, but we do not. That's what happens. But with the United Nations, it is an empty morality. It is moral only by the votes of those who vote in their center, in their area. So the morality, they are amoral. And that is a massive, massive issue. There's nothing to tether them to anything. They are free reign to do whatever they want, and it is aligning with their morals, because that's relativism. It's basically like David Seymour. How you choose to go is however it goes. Whoever's strong is strong. If you choose someone nice, you choose to do someone nice. But there's no depth there. There's no linking. There's no parameters. There's no order. It's all chaos, all death, all darkness. And I think that's where we get a lot of the problem is. So definitely, look, I think this is really, really awesome. I think that we've been having a very, very good chat. I have to say, pretty impressed with you there, Gypsy. I don't want to give you a big head or anything like that, but your answers are pretty good. I'm bit of a known guy just to ask some straight up questions, and you answered them really well. So yeah, look, I think you did really well, and I really do hope well for your future. Fuahavai, what do you think?
Well, I think she did an excellent job. I think the great thing is I couldn't see if there was any coaching that was going on because Leao was a little bit off camera. But no, I think if one of the things that distinguishes a really good speaker or public speaker is someone who's able to answer extemporaneously, which means basically when you are given a question on the spot, you come up with an answer. And you were able to do that. Congratulations. That's not easy. Not easy. Some people, they go, and they keep on going, Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, brother.
Your answer for the gender question was actually better than the Prime Minister of New Zealand.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And this is another reason.
You answered better than the Prime Minister of New Zealand. How is that? Hey, that is boss. Straight boss.
He's used to actually answering questions in front of people. So yeah, great job, Gypsy.
Liao, do you have anything to say there? Because I think we're going to give the last word and the last prayer to our wonderful guest.
Oh yeah, I think she's a wonderful job. Very proud of her.
Oh! Sorry, we can't. You'll have to speak into your microphone, I think. Oh, we could pretend that we can hear you.
Stop being so rude. Just because you haven't heard from me for half the night.
Out of Auckland.
I think she's done a wonderful job. She's, she's got a good mind, a good heart, and she's got great parents. So, I mean, when you've got it all, this is how you become a critical thinker, and you think outside the status quo. And you're just like, you know what? This is life. This is how I'm going to live. If she can live a year doing this, then you know what? God's got it all set for what she needs to do in the future. So yeah, really proud of her.
No, well done. We would love. Look, we've come to the end of it, but Gypsy, we would love for you to maybe just give a last word to our audience, to our people out there. We'd love it if you could just give us just something to. We'd love for you to do two things. One, and I'm going to throw you in the spot here. Is there anything that you can say to our people in terms of anything, a free reign, all right? Any sort of message that you've got for us as New Zealanders, as people, and if it's okay, we would love for you to maybe end us off in a bit of a prayer, a bit of lotu, so that we can finish up our show.
Okay. First of all, I just want to thank you, Elliot, and Fuyabai. Thank you for all the compliments that you've given me. I thought I was gonna like stutter. So I just want to say to people to think for yourselves. Don't let anyone else think for you. Yeah, I think that's great advice for
Awesome.
people.
Yeah. Well
Um,
said.
job.
yeah.
So we would love it. We would love it if you could just end us off in a bit of prayer. We would, and I know I'm chucking you on the spot, but if that's okay, we would love for that too. Is that okay? Can we ask for you to end us off in a bit of prayer?
Yep, that's okay. I'll try my best.
Awesome. Good on you. Go for it.
Thank you, Lord, for this night. It's been a wonderful interview. I bless all these wonderful people who are watching and the 3 lovely hosts of tonight's show. I thank you all, and I bless everyone to have a good night and a great day tomorrow.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. All right, everyone. God bless you. We'll see you again real soon. Whaawhitai.
Bye.